So welcome, you guys. Welcome to Monday Yoga. So happy to see all of you. So we're going to start seated this morning, and I'd like you to bring one of your hands over your heart, and then the other on top of that. Let's just check in with heartbeat for a moment. And just notice how that's kind of the last thing that you want to pay attention to. There's so much going on. Just let your hands stay here. Maybe feel your breath and your heartbeat. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes and breathe. As you breathe here, I'd like you to just contemplate the word compassion. Does that word hold any meaning or feeling for you this morning, this Monday morning, compassion? Are you drawn to thoughts of compassion for yourself, or did you immediately think of someone else? Compassion. That's our practice this morning, starting here with self-care and allowing that to grow within us and around us. So bring your hands together in this gesture of gratitude. I'm going to have you rub your hands together briskly and press with a little pressure. Make a little bit of heat in your hands. And as soon as you feel that heat in your hands, stop, keep your hands together, and then with eyes closed, just separate your hands just the tiniest amount and see if you can feel your right hand with your left hand. And they're not touching, but can you feel that heat, that energy between your hands? And then maybe widen your hands as far as you can out while still feeling each hand's energy with the other. How far apart can you get your hands and still be aware of that energy? And now just holding that space, continue to breathe with the word compassion. When you practice and experience compassion inside of you, in your thoughts, compassion becomes the energy that emulates outside of you. So I'd like you to just consider this practice as a way to just create a larger field of energy around you, a field of compassion. So let your hands lower to your sides, and on an inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And then draw your hands back to your heart. You can keep them separated, kind of like holding that energy, or you can touch your hands together, whichever you prefer. But just feel this space of energy around you. Allow your breath to be a little more pronounced, a little more audible. And take one more deep breath in, arms reaching overhead. Look up at your hands and then let your left hand fall to the floor. Reach your right arm up and over and stretch through the side body. Let the side of your heart start to expand. That right lung, right ribs, light, bright, and open. And return both hands up overhead. Look up at your hands. Drop the right, lift the left. And now expand through the left side of your heart, the left lung, left ribs with breath. Exaggerate the breath. Let your body open, extend. And then bring your spine upright, but draw this left arm across to the right knee and start to walk your right fingers behind you, coming into a seated twist. Inhale to sit tall, exhale to twist deeper. And just bring your attention down into your body. What are you feeling here in this twist? Where is the energy moving in you and around you? Keeping your what is it? Your left hand on the knee. Bring the right arm around and cross so that your arms are crossed and you're holding both of your knees. And then just drop your chin, open the space between your shoulder blades. Breathe now into the back of your heart, the back of your rib cage, your spine, your shoulder blades. Bring breath to the back. Even up into the back of your neck. And then return to center. The right hand will stay on the knee. Walk the left hand behind and find your twist here. Inhale tall, exhale deepen. Navel draws into spine. Close your eyes and come down here inside of yourself. What do you feel? Where is energy moving in you and around you? As we return to center, walk both of your hands behind you, and you can keep your fingers back on the floor or interlace your hands. Let's open up through the front. Breathing now into the front of your heart, the front of your rib cage, sternum, front of your lungs. Let your chest grow. Breathe here. Make space. Expand the energy. Now release your hands and come back again to where we started. One hand on the heart, the other covering it. And again, just the word compassion. As you've done a little movement, a little connection with your own heart, does that word speak any more loudly or differently? Compassion. Let's bring ourselves around to a tabletop position, and we will be on our knees a little more today. So grab any blanket or folded up rug or mat to protect your knees. Let's start here with cat and cow, and we're going to take our knees wider than we normally do. So our feet are together, our knees are wide. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Tuck your tailbone and just press back a little further. So a little more movement than we normally do. Cow and cat. If your knees are comfortable with that, you can walk your hands forward and come more into this wide-kneed, upward-facing dog and back towards child's pose. Move with your knees in mind, paying attention to those two amazing joints. Match your movement with your breath. The next time you come back, pause in child's pose. And then tuck your toes under, lift into downward facing dog. Start to pedal your heels. If you hear music, raise one leg in the air. No music. Go ahead and slowly walk your feet toward your hands. Come into a forward fold. Let your fingers touch your elbows. Sway here in ragdoll. Maybe let your fingers touch the floor and start to walk your fingers side to side. One side of your feet and the other side of your feet. Just exploring these edges around the outer hips. Bring your hands to your shins, friends. Lift halfway. Take a deep breath in here. Feel your way around your hamstrings, your calves, the backs of your knees. And then exhale, forward folds. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Let's do that again. Press to lift halfway. Exhale to fold. One more time, press and lift. And ease your way back to forward fold. With a big bend in the knees, scoop the arms high, bring the arms all the way up overhead, extended mountain, find standing pose, and then slowly lower your arms out wide and down. Bend the knees, scoop the arms down and up again. Make huge circles around you, opening up through the shoulders, the chest, the back, warming up around the hips and the knees. Good. The next time we reach the arms high, pause here. Take the feet just a little bit wider, side bend, holding one wrist, draw your arm up and over the side. Be firm through your feet. Pull the shoulder away from the hip. Breathe here. And returning to center, switch. Find that side bend, up and over. Beautiful. Returning to center, bring your hands to heart center, feet a little bit closer. And with soft knees, inhale to open the arms out into cactus. And exhale, close the hands, sit into chair. Moving with breath, opening through the heart, sinking into chair. So this gentle practice, not putting any stress on any of the joints, just movement. So if any of these motions do cause stress or pain, soften a little. Make the movement smaller. Take one more deep breath, arms open, reach overhead. And then swan dive, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, lift halfway. And let's exhale, going back again into downward facing dog. Pedal your heels and shift your weight here. And you can always drop to your knees in down dog. But while you're here, spread your fingers wide. Press more firmly into the earth. Loosen up through your neck. Shifting forward, come down to your knees and then spin your elbows forward so you can lower all the way down onto your belly. From here, lifting up into Cobra. We're going to pause here just a moment in Cobra. Our weight is light in our hands, our chest is pulling forward. Reach back through your toes and tuck your tailbone between your legs so your lower back feels long. Shoulder blades wrap onto your back. Release the chin to the earth, belly button to spine. Come back into child's pose. If child's pose hurts your knees, stay up a little higher in what we would call puppy pose. On your inhale, tabletop position, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Heels reaching down, hips lifting high. And looking forward, step or hop the feet to meet the hands. Lift up halfway and fold in half. Keep a bend in the knees, grab the backs of the legs and gently pull down. And with a bend in the knees, let's scoop the arms up high again. Extended mountain, maybe a little back bend. Opening the arms out, cactus arms, chest opens forward. And then just close your hands back toward your heart. Compassion. Inhale, arms up. Slow swan dive, forward fold. Press hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. You can drop your knees or stay on your toes. Spin the elbows lower halfway down. And then belly to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Squeeze your shoulders back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, back child's pose. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Again, no strain in the joints. No sharp pain, just ease of movement. Take a look forward, step or hop your feet to your hands, lift halfway. And bend your knees, fold forward, take a hold of the back of the legs, pull down, breathe. A bend in the knees, arms reach high, all the way to a little back bend. Find what's here. Nice. Cactus your arms, elbows wide. And then bring your hands to your heart. Exhale, compassion. Let's go through that Sun A one more time, building a little more heat, and then we'll pause to hold some poses. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press hands to shins, half lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, knees or toes. Exhale, lower down. Descend to your belly and then open up to cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Pause here, hips back over heels. Breathe here. As we come back to tabletop, I'd like you to grab a block if you have it. If not, a firm pillow would probably be helpful to you. And we're going to step our right foot forward. And again, patting up here underneath this left knee, if your left knee needs a little bit more of that. I'm going to bring this block underneath my right hip. So I'm sitting in kind of hero and kind of forward fold. I've got one leg back and one leg forward. So you can see that that block might be helpful on its higher side to protect this knee. If that's not working out for you, just go ahead and sit both of your hips on the floor with legs out in front. So in this half hero pose, we're going to walk our fingers forward, lengthen the chest toward your toes, and breathe here with this long spine. Toes pull back, fingers crawl forward, chest lifts toward the foot. Breathe here. There is as much therapeutic work happening in the joints that are folded as in the joints that are lengthened. So see if you can notice that, the difference in your two knees, your two ankles. Just breathe here. And then take a slow shift forward. You can bring your block forward with you. Shifting the hips now, come into a lunge position. Bring your hand to that block if you like. And now we have the opposite happening. One hip closed, one hip open. Notice the difference in the two sides. You can choose back toes tucked under and the knee lifted, or you can stay on the knee. We're going to open this right arm out into a twist, but we're going to keep the arm going in a circle, a nice slow circle. So we'll lower the chest to scoop the arm down and forward, open to lift up and back. Go one more time, around and down. You can leave that block at the side of your mat. Sweep the leg back around, either child's pose or downward facing dog, your choice. You can pedal out the heels. Notice one hip is a little different than the other. So now we'll lower the right knee and step the left foot forward. Bringing this block in if that seems like a great idea for you to prop up your left hip. And then we'll shift our weight back towards our right, sitting on our right heel or over our right heel. And this block now can be under the left leg that's extended. If your knee doesn't love that position, stick both legs right out in front of you. And then lift tall through the spine, tilt your pelvis forward, pull your rib cage forward, and reach long in front of you. Forward more than down, toes pull back. Take really deep breaths here. Where do you notice energy moving in your body? And where does energy feel stuck? Breathe here. As we release, we'll come back up to kneeling on one knee, bring the block around with you, and let your hips shift forward. You can place your right hand on the block, let your right hip start to open as the left arm begins its circle around. Left arm, left leg, opening into a twist. Go back as far as you can and go slow. Just feel the space around your shoulder. shoulder mobility. So one more time around. Then as you lower your hand to the ground, slide the block out of the way. Tuck your toes and step the back foot to meet the front foot. Come into a forward fold. And notice again, left side, right side. With a bend in the knees, grab your block or a pillow and let's place that above our knees. So we're holding the block like this between our knees in an effort to really hug everything into the midline. Sitting down here in this chair pose, hips back, chest lifted. Let your hands come over your heart again. This gesture of self-care, compassion, even when things are hard, even when the work has to happen. Take a slow rise up, arms open, and come back down. This self-care gesture. Inhale, open. Even when life gets a little tricky, a little challenging, we can be here for ourselves. Right here. Beating heart, breathing lungs. Core strong. One more time. Squeeze the block, open the arms, open out into the chest. And then let your hands come behind you, interlace your fingers, open the chest, and fold in half. Head to the earth, knuckles to the sky. So squeezing this block, imagine that you could push the block out the back of your legs. That's going to create an inward spiral that helps you feel a little bit more opening in space in your hamstrings. Press the block out the back. It's pretty small motion. It's not really something you can see. It's just an inward spiral of your thigh bones. Releasing the hands, releasing the block. Press to shins, lift halfway. And then fold yourself all the way down to the ground. With hands on the earth, step back, downward facing dog. Let your chest drop another inch or two here. Shift forward into plank pose. Drop your knees or stay on your toes and lower down to the earth. Let your arms come to your sides, interlace hands behind you. You can also grab a strap here, just let your arms float, but arms behind you, chest lifted. This is locust pose. Feet can be on or off the mat. Take deep breaths here. Feel the strength of the back of your body and the willingness of your heart to be open to what's right here in front of you. As we release this, bring your hands to your shoulders, press up and back into child's pose. Listening to your body, noticing, feeling energy. And tuck your toes, lift up into downward facing dog. And let's step our right foot to the top of our mat. You can stay on your toes, or if it feels better, drop your knee. And then just take your time coming up here to a high lunge, where we'll find a little more hip flexor, a little more hip opening, arms up overhead, breathe, find your balance here. One hip flexed, One hip extended. Notice the difference. With your fingers interlaced, bring your hands to the back of your head and open your elbows. Lean back into your hands. Feel the opening in the front of your body. Fingers lift high. Drop the back heel to the earth, warrior one. That should feel a little more solid, a little more stable, a little firm earth to stand on. Press down into your feet. Look at one point in front of you. Let that one point hold all of your attention. And on the exhale, release hands to the earth. Stay in this lunge position. Let your arms continue behind you toward the ceiling. Humble warrior. You can keep the hands separated or interlaced. Let your body hover on or just inside your right thigh. Feel the space around your heart, the space of compassion. And then release your hands. Sweep the arms all the way up high. Warrior one. Notice that back hip a little looser. As you exhale, hands to mat, step back to downward facing dog, and you can stay here or shift forward and take that vinyasa. Your choice. And let's step our left foot to the top of the mat. And we'll keep our back toes tucked, or you can certainly drop that knee. So as we rise up into high lunge, I'd like you to find a way to be here that doesn't feel like struggle. So what do you need to do? Do you need to find something to place a hand on to give you balance? Do you need to shorten your stance, lower your arms? What makes this shape feel like less effort and more ease? Eyes on one point. Interlace your fingers, hands behind your head, press back. Less effort, more ease. What if we softened the edges? What if we were a little easier on ourselves? Less force, less expectation. How could that energy change? Float your fingers high and just gently drop your back heel. Warrior one. A subtle change so as to not shift the energy. Stay here in this place of ease. Yeah, good. And then just slowly move the arms. Lean forward over your legs. Let the arms reach behind. And find here ease. Humble warrior. Hands can float or intertwine. Let yourself exhale. You know what you and your body are dealing with today. Be gentle with yourself. Practice compassion here on your mat. Release the fingers. Slowly rise up, warrior one. And then let your hands come to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog, a slow and gentle transition, your choice. Stay here or flow through that vinyasa, coming forward and down, up and back. Let's take our time coming to the top of our mat, pressing to a half lift and a forward fold. With softness in the knees, rise high, extended mountain. Find again your back bends. And draw your hands to your heart. We'll play a little bit with balance today before we come down to the floor. So separate your feet, find two firm footprints, and then start to shift most of your weight into your right foot. Notice a tendency to lock out that knee and see if you can keep that right knee just a little bit soft as you pick up your left heel. And then we're just going to lift that leg up in front of us just a little bit. And so you might kind of tap it down again just to make sure the ground is where you left it. So wherever you'd like that knee to be, open your arms out into cactus arms. Micro bend in the right knee, strong core, eyes on one point, not wavering. Be here. Maybe lifting the knee a little higher, dropping it down. Find the staying place, the place that feels almost effortless. And then bring your right hand across to that left knee. And we'll start to twist. Just slowly open toward that left side. You can bring your hand to your hip or reach it behind you. Eyes now have shifted to another point. Just steady gaze, steady breath. Return to center, hands to heart. Set that foot down. Feel the earth under 2 feet, and again, cover your heart with 2 hands and just close your eyes. Feel this beating heart, this steady ground beneath us. We're back to safety. Let your breath tell your nervous system it's okay. Always have this. Start to shift your weight into your left foot, hands in the center, and then begin to play with lifting your right toes off the floor, a little or a lot. There's a micro bend in your left knee. And find the place you'd like to stay as you open your arms. Eyes on one point, rooting down. Being here with a sense of ease. See if you can let go of struggle somewhere. Somewhere in the body is a struggle to do this right, to be perfect in your practice, to be better. Can you just let go of that for a moment? And then the left arm comes across to the right knee. And begin a slow twist to the right. That back hand can extend or come to a hip. Let go of the struggle. Find an ease here. The shape itself presents a challenge. We don't need to add to that by trying harder or gritting our teeth or pushing or forcing. You can just be here in this shape. Ease your way back home. 2 feet on the ground, hands over the heart, eyes closed. Feel this solid ground. Notice the heart beating faster and the breath shallow. Deepen breath. Come back home. Compassion. Tenderness. Slowly float your arms overhead. Take a deep breath as big as you can reach those arms out and up. And then bigger still, swan dive, forward fold. Hands to shins, half lift. Downward facing dog or child's pose, your choice. We will all meet in child's pose eventually. You're welcome to take a vinyasa if you like. We're going to drop our knees to the earth. We will all meet back with our hips over our heels. Take a moment to breathe here in child's. And then another heart opener. We'll take our knees a little wider. Elbows on the mat, palms together. And our hands will come up behind our head. And then once you feel that, you can walk your elbows forward and pull your head back away from your elbows. Pull your hips back. This is an awesome stretch for triceps. It's going to give your heart a little more space to drop into the shoulder stretch. Pull as much breath in as you can. And slowly release your hands to the mat. Bring yourself back to a tabletop position. Move through cat-cow. Really slow. See if you can feel what's happening between your shoulders, front and back. Let's go a couple more times. Whole spine moving with ease. And let's start to find ourselves in a seat with legs out in front of us. Bend your right knee so that it's just coming inside of your left leg. Clear the flesh right on top of your sitting bones and lift tall. On the exhale, descend over that left leg. You can settle your hands by your legs or maybe hold a strap, reach to your foot. Let your toes come back to your face. Breathe. Find some ease here. Notice if there's struggle or resistance. Find some ease here. Ease your way back to center. Let's just counter that with a little twist to the right, hand to knee. Lengthen, ring out your spine, look over your shoulder. And come back to center. Both feet together in butterfly. Fingertips under the elbows. Lean forward to press on your inner knees. So your spine is long, you're feeling a nice stretch here through the inner thighs. Take a few deep breaths. Notice what's happening in your hips and your back. Breathe there. And then switch, right leg forward, left leg stays bent. Clear the flesh. And let's come up and over that right leg. Allow the biggest exhale you can muster right here. As we come up, we'll find that twist toward the left side, hand to knee, opposite hand behind, open and twist. Right here, right now, this breath, compassion. We'll find our way back to center, extend the leg, and then lower yourself all the way down onto your back. Once you get there, give yourself a big hug, knees to chest. Move around in any way that you like here, lying on your back. You're welcome to come into happy baby. One leg out, one leg in, just a little bit playful here as we finish this practice. We're heading our way into Shavasana. So begin to think about what props you might like. Maybe you'd like to put a blanket over you for warmth, for comfort, pillow under your head, a bolster beneath your knees. Looking for ease here. Noticing again any struggle, any resistance, any fighting back, any pushing against this relaxation. It's so hard for us to set it all down and do nothing. Just notice if that's true for you. When you notice mind wandering, just come back to breath. Watch your breath come in. Watch your breath go out. This beautiful dance. Your respiratory system. Just observe that to give your mind something to do. As you continue resting, would you once again bring your hands over your heart in this gesture of self-love, compassion, self-care? And I'll leave you today with the words of Rumi. My beloved child, break your heart no longer. Each time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on the love which is the wellspring of your vitality. The time has come, your time, to live, to celebrate, and to see the goodness that you are. Let no one, no thing, no idea or ideal obstruct you. If one comes even in the name of truth, forgive it, for it's unknowing. Do not fight. Let go and breathe into the goodness that you are. So right here, my beloved child, breathe into the goodness that you are. And then invite yourself to come into some gentle movement, stretching and breathing as you find your way back to a seat. And once again, come back, this gesture again of compassion, and see if it feels any different now than it did when we began our practice, if it's easier to connect with this heart space, this beautiful place within us of compassion. And it starts here, self-love, self-care. I love Brene Brown saying that it's hard to hate up close. So get up close to yourself and stop breaking your own heart. See the beauty and goodness that's right here. As we bring our hands together in this gesture of gratitude, let's leave today with an intention to get up close to ourselves and each other, even if it's just through a screen, to see the goodness in each other. Namaste.